So I began taking lessons when I was 12 years old. I remember we'd booked some lessons with the guitar teacher at school, but I didn't have a guitar at the time, so my dad drove me to the other side of Liverpool to buy a second-hand guitar we found in the paper, pre-eBay days. As soon as I learnt my first chord and a little riff, I wanted to play as much as I could, so I practiced all the time. I practiced every day, but even then it still took me some months to get confident to play just a song or just a few riffs. And then from there it's just constant practice to keep progressing to get to a certain standard. But you can play a song within a few weeks or months. It's a lot of effort, especially to get to a professional standard. It takes years of practice. Like I said, to play a song or a few riffs, you can do that relatively quickly. But if you want to get to a professional standard, if you want to be playing in venues, writing your own music, teaching, anything like that, you need to be practicing quite a lot to get to a high standard. And it will take years to get to that standard as well. But it's definitely worth the effort. There was a time when I was practicing less, I would say. I wasn't quite as into it as perhaps previous or I am now. But I wouldn't say I ever nearly gave up. I always played in some form, even if it wasn't as much. I would just play in my room perhaps every few nights or something. But I always wanted to play, and I never wanted to give up because I was doing it for my own enjoyment mainly when I was learning. But yeah, there's definitely times when I'd practice a bit less. So my parents knew the guitar teacher at the school that I went to. I think they just asked me one day, do I want to try the guitar? I thought I'd give it a go. Like I said, as soon as I learned those first riffs, those first chords, I was in love with it. I just kept practicing all the time, kept playing all the time, and I'm so glad that I had that opportunity given to me, and it's become a lifelong skill. It's become my career, and I love it. My favourite styles of music has to be the blues or the classic rock blues crossover kind of area. I'm a massive fan of this style of playing. People like B.B. King, more modern players like Joe Bonamassa, fantastic guitarists, and I absolutely love listening to it, and I absolutely love playing it. It's such a enjoyable music, such an emotional music to play. You're really putting your emotion into the guitar notes, into your playing. You're speaking through the guitar. But playing professionally, I end up playing all styles of music. I play all sorts of things, and I love the diversity in that. There's always something different in a different genre of music that you've not done before, that you find something interesting, an interesting technique or an interesting lick or something that you like from that. I think my favourite musician, probably for his style of playing, has to be B.B. King. Like I mentioned before, he's a fantastic blues guitarist. He can play one note and just have you hooked. Just the way he plays it, the timing he plays it, that inflection he puts on it. He's an absolutely phenomenal guitarist. And I love putting that style of bending or that vibrato into my own playing. So I've had the opportunity to play in some great venues, mainly across the northwest of England. There's been some fantastic gigs, but I think opportunities that I really enjoy is times when I've been traveling and I've been able to connect with an audience or musicians or people I've met through music, whether it's performing in Bangkok, jamming with musicians in Bali, or around someone's house in Texas, just enjoying music and all singing along. I think the highlight in my career is to do with teaching. And when we set up our own music school and it started to take off, that was my biggest achievement. And when we put on our first concert that we held in a theatre with our students, that was fantastic. Seeing all that hard work we've put into building a business, into becoming music teachers, working with the schools in the area, and then to see those students that you've been working with progress and perform and show off that skill that you've been teaching them. That was a massive highlight for me. It's still something I enjoy whenever we do a concert. Seeing the students enjoy it is a massive thing for me. No, I never imagined that I would be doing any kind of job in music. I always just thought that was a passion. I didn't think it was realistic to get a job in music. So even to the point when I left school, I started an engineering apprenticeship, but then the recession came, I lost my job. I ended up doing a few jobs, but in between those jobs or alongside those jobs, I started teaching the guitar a bit, and I really got into that. I really enjoyed teaching and decided this is something that I'd like to do long term. And eventually I worked for music schools in the area, and then eventually we set up our own music school, and I've done that ever since. It's my full-time job and I absolutely love it. My favourite thing about being a guitar teacher is the diversity of the job. Every student is different. Every student comes with a different style of music they like. They come with a different passion for music, and it's so nice to see that. I love the diversity from one student to the next. I love seeing people progress. That's when it's really enjoyable as a teacher. Seeing your student progress over a period of time and get better and better, and seeing the passion ignite in their eyes as they learn something that they really want to play. That is my favourite thing about teaching. If someone's just starting to play the guitar, the bass or the ukulele, I would definitely say practice. Practice, practice, practice. The more you practice, the quicker and the better you're going to become. When learning any musical instrument, it's all about the effort you put into it outside of your lessons. Your lesson will give you something to practice, but then you need to go home and actually practice that to actually learn that skill properly and take it on. If you're thinking about learning, I would definitely encourage you to start, because it's a fantastic skill you will have for the rest of your life. So many adults turn back and say, I wish I'd learned an instrument. I wish I'd had the opportunity to learn the instrument, or I wish I'd stuck at learning that instrument. Don't be that person. Learn the instrument, put the effort in. You'll enjoy it forever. Whether you just sit in your own living room playing, or whether it's your career, you will enjoy it to whatever degree you take it to.